Welcome to another episode of the Thoughts of an Average Joe podcast. It's Taroy Jackson, man, your favorite average Joe, man. And today, for the first time ever, I'm doing video and y'all can see the little big brother.
What's good, y'all?
Y'all can see the little big brother. My man, Manny. How we living today? How we doing?
Hey, man, it's another day. I'm alive. I'm breathing. God is still good. And, we're going to keep on keeping on. So I feel good to be here.
Hey,
Thanks
man.
for having me, my brother.
I told you. You ain't hot.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm already hot. I need to get a fan up in here, bro.
You good, bro?
Because, man, the vent don't be circulating, man. Like,
Usually I'm the one that get hot pretty
it be
easy.
cold in the master room, but it be freezing in here. It be hot in here.
Well, shoot, I'll be sleeping up in here. I don't like that cold stuff. I don't do that.
But yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. Can't complain, man. I'm glad you're here. It's crazy. We were talking off air. I was just like, it's crazy. I was just like, before you would always come home, I'd be there, and now it's like you coming. I got my own spot, like my own. Like
I'm coming to your crib.
You coming to my crib? You know
Checking
what I'm saying?
out your spot.
Checking out your spot. You know what I'm saying? Fuck your couch. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All that, man. How's the new year been going for you so far?
So far, so good. It's always bittersweet. I was thinking, on the ride over here, it took me like an hour to get over here.
Because you ain't taking tolls.
Yeah, I don't do that, but it gave me a lot of time to reflect.
You took I-4 to Lee Road, right?
I don't know what I took. I was taking 1792.
Oh, 1792, and then you made that right where that Wawa is supposed to be at?
Child, don't ask me. I don't remember. I was just following Google Maps.
Yeah, because the easier way would just have been on I-4, Lee Road, make that right, and keep going on.
Yeah, I'm not mad for not avoiding I-4, though, because I feel like it probably would have been a mess anyway. So it was fine.
I feel you.
I made it safe. That's all that matters.
I feel you. Speaking to the mic just a little bit more. Here we go. All right, man. So it's going to be a continuation of the series, Praise Break series Reloaded. I know you were the first one on it 2 years ago. Like when I was with
It's been a minute.
Yeah, when I was with Max, but I'm finally getting around to doing it. So, first of all, before I get into that, how's your mental health doing?
Good. It's good. I'm continuing to take care of it, trying to get back into the flow of working out. So that's part of my mental health, and especially being home now. I've been home for like a week, so just being able to kind of like reflect and, just pray and just kind of just be still in general, not have to think about work. So that crap has really been helpful for me a lot.
Okay. All right, yeah, that's
so
good,
no
man.
Complaints. What about yourself?
Mental health is good, man. Still on the job hunt. We talked off air. Oh, I gotta show you my car after this. But everything's straight. Just blessed. Was able to make sure at least everything for January is taken care of. So just make sure I find a job. So February's being taken care of. But I've never really been one to really stress about like when I lose a job or whatever. Just cause like I know like I'm not gonna go without. Yeah. But I think this time's a little bit different because before when I was living at home, I could ask you or I could ask mom. But now it's like my bills have multiplied from like my car payment is double what it was before. Like I rent, lights, you know what I'm saying? All that before it was just.
It's real.
It's real. So it's like I just been on the grind myself. I ain't really been asking nobody, just been, figuring it out. I was just like, the other day I was in the shower, I was like, all right, Lord, I would like to get something by the 15th so I can get paid by the 2nd. So, therefore, because the goal for me is as long as I'm not behind on stuff, and when I go and get the new job, as long as I'm not behind, then I can stay ahead. But it's very hard when you're behind and then it takes about a couple months to get caught up. Then it's like you just made all this money just to get caught up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You ain't seeing none of it for yourself, and that sucks.
Exactly.
That's not a great position to be in.
Exactly. So, but today's going to be a Praise Break series Reloaded, final part 3. Today's topic is, when did you know God was real? So, when did you know God was real? Like, what happened for you to be like, okay, like, God is real?
I don't know if there's a particular moment that, makes me think that, oh, yeah, God is real per se. But I do know that, like, I think just growing up and having that. My therapist actually started therapy with another therapist. And he was kind of just asking, like, yo, what was, like, one of the most beneficial things.
You say your therapist started therapy with another therapist?
No, I started therapy. So I've had couples therapy, which we actually just had today, and then another therapy for my own self.
How much all that be running you?
I have insurance, so literally only cost me, thankfully, like $20 each so far. So
each session?
Yeah, so it's basically $40 in total.
Yeah, through your EAP.
I honestly don't know. My medical
Okay.
insurance is included in there, thankfully.
Dang, man,
So
that's great.
yeah, it definitely has increased like access and plus like people being remote and everything. Like so, it's been pretty clutch. So, but he was just asking me other week, how what was like the most beneficial thing that like your like family has kind of like taught you or instilled in you. And I would just definitely say my faith to him because that's like the foundation of like who I am and what I do and try to like let that lead in everything that I do and showcase itself. And so, I don't know if there's a particular moment that I know God was real, but I do know that like between like middle school, I know many people don't know this, but like middle school, man, I was cussing like a sailor. Like I was kind of out there just, chasing women and doing whatever.
In middle school?
In middle school. And I remember just like sixth grade it was bad, and then seventh grade it got like a little less bad, and then eighth grade it got a little less bad, and then that summer that's when I gave my life to Christ, and then like ninth grade it kind of was like everybody was like, "Dang, you different," yada yada yada. And so like I think that same year I got baptized as well. So it was like I think during that time I was able to see that God is real. But I think more than anything, I feel like I really started seeing God was real probably when I was like in college. Just because I don't know, when me and Elisha, right, he's a believer and stuff too, and so like we would do devotionals and stuff together. But then when I got to college, like the university, not community college, just doing that, meeting different people, guys and girls, and just being a part of that community was really huge for me and kind of took me to like that next level. So that would probably like be the start. But even just as I've gotten older, I feel like God has really kind of just proven himself to be real, proven himself to be faithful.
For me, it's gonna sound crazy because we grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like I was the leader of the junior ushers, like all of that. But like I always knew he was real. Always knew like he was there. But for me, I didn't know like everybody be like, I knew God was real at this particular moment.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was real to this particular moment until I got the apartment and got my new car. Over the last right before the end of 2023, because I was stressing. I'm like, okay, like my girl go back to work 4 days a week now, so it's not like I can't borrow her car three days a week like I was doing before.
Yeah.
And my car had Honda Civic had 308,000 miles on it, so I knew it wasn't gonna last that much longer. So it was just like, okay, like I got to figure out like how to get a whip before the New Year's because I don't like something happens and I can't get to work. Like my car messed up, I'm screwed because taking the Uber is going to be more than a car payment. So just being able to save and to be able to get the apartment was big because that was like the first big purchase. I would say my first real big adult purchase. Just to have my own apartment, just to be able to move out the house, and then to be able to stay with Tyler, then finally get my own crib. That was huge, and then everything just worked out perfectly, bro. Because I'm still, my whole plan with my credit, trying to do the bankruptcy and everything like that. I was able to get 2 credit cards within the span of like a week, and getting those 2 credit cards, getting that Capital One credit card. Because I got the Capital One credit card and it was unsecured. It wasn't a secure credit card. It was unsecured. That led me to, I was like, you know what? I was at work. Let me just try the Capital One auto navigation. And I got approved. Okay. And I was like, oh, snap. I called my girl. Was like, yo, like I got to capitalize on this. It's now or never. Yeah. It is now or never. So it came down to 3 choices. I was looking at it. It came down to 2. I was looking at the 2020 Toyota RAV4. I already had like it already had like 50,000 miles on it, so that was the 3rd choice. And then my first choice would have been the Honda. It was the 2021 Honda CRV. Pretty much had everything I wanted, but it had like 11,000. Then I get off of work, I'm in bed, I'm talking to my girl, I'm trying to figure out, okay, like I'm just looking at cars, and I remember like me and her went through the list of like cars that we would want because I didn't want an SUV until I started driving her whip. Before I just wanted like another Civic, another Accord, and I was like, nah, I need something bigger. So then in bed, all of a sudden, I see a 2023 Kia Seltos for 11,000. I'm like, So I called them, and I was like, look, here's my situation. You know, my tag is still expired because I still got to pay the tolls, but I'm trying to get a whip. Is there any way I could get a car today if I come and get a car today and get a dealer tag? They said, yeah. They said, we done this plenty of times. I said, okay, went in there. And I told my girls, like, I'm determined. I'm going to get a car, X, Y, and Z. She dropped me off. She said, don't come back till you get the car.
Don't come back till you get the car.
So.
No car, no you.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, during Capital One Auto Navigator, I had enough to where I didn't have to put a down payment down for anything. That's like, I did it to where I didn't have to. But then, of course, when you go in there, things are a little bit different. And they was like, well, at first it was like he did the numbers wrong. And he was like, you got to put $2,600 down. I was like, I ain't got it. So then he was like, all right, let's see. And he was like, oh, okay, we had messed it up, did the numbers wrong. They still want you to put $600 down. Luckily, I had that $600. So I called my girl, was like, hey, look, you know, her mom was here at times. So I was like, hey, look, you know, what do you think I should do? Because I would like to put nothing down. It was like, what do you think I should do? Should I go or should we just go to another dealership, X, Y, and Z? And she was like, I mean, if it's 600, you know, just do it.
You got it, yeah.
Just do it. And 600 is, you know, better than whatever. I already knew like my car payment was going to be high
For sure.
because I already knew that. Especially with my credit not being great, which I was trying to avoid. But I already knew whether, especially now, like even if my night job, I'm gonna make sure my car payment is paid for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then I was just like, you know, I was just over it, bro. Like I was tired of sweating every summer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was tired of sweating every summer, like always hot. The Civic was getting loud. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like I wanted something different, and it was just very emotional for me because it was just like, yo, literally within 2 weeks. So for the time frame, people that don't know, the apartment we moved in the day before Thanksgiving. We got the keys day before Thanksgiving. We moved in Thanksgiving. Then to turn around and literally a week and a half later, top of December, get a whip. It's crazy. It was like December 7th, like I got a brand new whip.
Yeah.
And I was telling my girl, I was like, and it's crazy because I was looking back at it and I was like, that was the car for me. Because when I went back home to see if the Honda CRV, which had the only difference between the CRV, the reason why I got the CRV instead of the Celtos was because I was doing some research and they said like after 50,000 miles, the Honda CRV, like the engine starts to mess up, it gets diluted or something. So I didn't want to take that chance. Yep. Yeah. Otherwise, I would have took the CRV. And the RAV4 I liked, but it already had 50,000 miles on it. And I was just like, I wanted something that I know, especially bankruptcy, is going to last me a while. Because the Civic can last me 7 years. The Celtics can last me 7 years with only 11,000. So when I bought it was 12,000. So then when I got it, then I went back to look at the RAV4 and the Civic. I mean, the CRV, they were both they were both sold. And so I was just like, yo, like I was just like, God, like okay. This was like a coming to Jesus moment. Like you're like, I knew you was real, but it was my first time really experiencing you was real without like any help.
Yeah, and I feel like I feel like in certain circumstances like that is when you do feel like Jesus is real, right? When you at your worst, at your bottom. I was looking at some sermon notes and stuff like from like earlier this year, and I think one of them was talking about how like, you know, you discover more when God is real, or depend more on God like during your worst time when you're at the bottom more so than when you're at the top. It shouldn't be like that, right? But it's like, you know, when you're in those situations, you begging, pleading, you know,
and it was just like, you know, especially coming off my last relationship, you know, it was trying to get an apartment, didn't happen. Trying to get a new car, it wasn't happening. And I even tried when I came back from the contract in March. I got approved, but they wanted $3,500 down and only had $2,500. But because I was just strictly doing contracts, I didn't know when the next contract was going to be. So he was like, when can you give me any other grant? I don't know, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that was a Nissan Rogue, but it already had about like 70,000 miles on it. My girl was like, well, just take it for a year because he was going to do the bankruptcy thing, which I'm still going to do. But now knowing that I basically got a brand, like, I don't think people understand, like, I got a 2023 Kia Seltos that only had 12,000 miles. That's pretty much a brand new car. Like, you know what I'm saying? There are some things I wish that like had more features, but it's pretty much a brand new car. And to go from the car that I had
You glowed up
to the car that I have now, everybody was just like, this man, we in a recession. This man just buying stuff. He got a new apartment, got a new car. It was just like, yo, it was just God. I was like, God showed out, because if it was me, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Like, it was nothing but God, bro, for me to get the credit card and then be able, because I had a credit card account with Capital One. Now I could get approved for auto loan with Capital One, and it was just like, you know.
But see, I think now though for you, like the key thing will be, and I know you know this already, but the key thing for you, I think, is just to make sure that, like, you know, when God gives you something, now it's just making sure that, like, you're a good steward of what He has given you, right? And so that's something that I for myself keep in mind, not just for like things, but even just like the gifts that He gives you, right? Like, you have a gift for talking, right? Like, you have so many gifts, and we all do, but it's like making sure like we're maximizing that every single day, in various ways, right? In order to make sure that, like, look, God, I appreciate you giving me this right here. Let me make sure that I'm giving this like back to you, and making sure that you know that, like, I know this is coming from you.
And I think also I had to lose the person that I cared for a lot at the time, that I loved for at the time, to really like, okay, I kind of see why this didn't work out. So let me try to correct myself to where now with my girl, because she's been with me every step of the way. You know what I'm saying? Even us with the apartment, wherever the kids, that wasn't supposed to be the case. And it just happened. Even with the car situation, you know, I was really stressed because I was like, my last resort would have been to ask her to co-sign, and I didn't really want to do that. But I was like, I know Mom wasn't going to do it. I definitely know Dad wasn't going to do it. So it was like, I got to get me a new whip. And I was really struggling with that because I was like, I don't know. Granted, my car, you know what I'm saying, the Civic still run. But 308,000 miles, I didn't know how much longer it was going to run.
Last on life support.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I didn't want to sit there and, you know, all of a sudden now, like, I got to quit my job, or I got to find a different job, or, you know, just, it just would have been too much of a hassle.
Yeah.
So to be able to get it, and even though the payments is high, the payments is manageable for me. And I think also because of how I managed the last car, I think everything happens for a reason, because I had to be in a better financial situation to where I could be able to manage those payments. Like, I already know, like, like, I don't plan on, like I'm making it a priority. Like, this, like, rent and car payment, that's what's going to get paid the most. Like, that's what's getting paid on time. You know what I'm saying?
Else got to sacrifice. Shoot, that's
exactly.
Cool. But all of these two things is paid for.
Exactly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even now, like, I'm still trying to pay the tolls off. But luckily, God came through once again, because my dealer tag expires on the 7th. But when I asked the guy who sold it to me, by the way, he looked exactly like Marcus. He looked like Marcus. He talked like Marcus. He tall like Marcus. I was just like, you know what? When he came to me and he started talking, because I was about to walk out, and he was like, hold on, let me see what I can do. And he came back, and I was like, you know what? This was supposed to be, because you look and talk exactly like my cousin. And then I showed him a picture. He was like, yeah, okay, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I told Marcus that. I told my girl that too. And so, like, I hit him up yesterday, and I was like, look, when it's like, I still haven't got the tag yet. When it's the tag gonna get there? Because I was worried because I lost my job. The plan was I was supposed to pay it off top of the new year. But when I lost my job, I was like, I can't do that now. So I'm thinking like, I don't know how I'm gonna pull this off. But luckily, I called him yesterday, and he was like, yeah, give us to the 10th. And they was like, you'll give him another week. And I was like, well, the tag expires on the 7th. So he was like, coming on the 7th, and we'll do it again. And I was like, cool. I was like, to be honest with you, I need like 30 more days anyway to pay it off. Yeah. So I'm manifesting. I get this job, start on the 15th. I'll have enough money between the two jobs on the second to pay rent and pay my tag off and pay the tolls off so I could get the tag. So once again, God came through again because I was stressing. I was like, Lord, because I saw somebody else. I saw somebody the other day, and they had an expired dealer tag from November. I was like, I can't be that.
Say I wouldn't want to risk it.
I don't want to risk it, man. These cops be brutal out here, man. I don't want to risk it. So like,
don't do it.
I'm saying like he's definitely over the last few months have shown out. Now it's just my time to do my due diligence.
Yeah.
I'm still struggling with going back to church. I'm more so at this point just been like, I'll listen to sermons on Apple Podcasts and I'll read my Bible and call it a day. But I just don't. I think I'm at a different point in my life just because of like I don't really, especially down here, like a lot of churches that I've gone to don't really open up the Bible and preach from the Word when I'm at church, and that's something like I'm strict on.
Yeah, as you should.
So like I just won't go to church. Like I'll listen to Orlando World Outreach. You know what I'm saying? That's the main one I listen to. I've been trying to get Mom to talk to Pastor Burrell to upload his sermons to let me handle it so I can upload his sermons. I'll create the whole account and he can upload it to Apple and all that because I can listen to that.
Yeah.
That's so much easier for me to listen to than to try to listen to it on YouTube because I got to keep my phone open. But with Apple Podcasts, I can lock it and still listen to it.
Yeah.
So I've been talking to Mom about that. And just I'm gonna try make an attempt this year to at least go to church once a month. Like that's my goal because I think the last time I went to church was I want to say maybe like October, November. Yeah, Cameron had asked me when I was coming to church, and I was late, but I was there. So
you got to start somewhere, man.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, like just, and I think that's just in life in general, just taking like those baby steps. So if you feel like, okay, look, I can commit to once a month, do that. Then obviously you don't want to stay there, right? But over time, gradually, like getting, going to church more, do it 2 days, 2 times a month, and 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So like building yourself up. But I think like for you in this season, I think that one of the key things is to, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but like don't just like ask, and then like once you get, all right, God, I'm good, appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? But like making sure you're being holistic with it and like turning to like now, you know, that you're doing well, that I know you're still waiting for a few things to come through, right? Still making sure like you're leaning on God. And this, you know, it's not always easy, right?
It's not.
Not act like it's like super easy, but it's just like I feel like when you are in your worst place, when you're at the bottom, when you're in the pit, you are naturally going to want to come out of it, right? And so you're going to be depending even more so on God. Even if you were like depending on God a lot, you're still going to depend on God even more. But at the same time, though, like that's still you want that to become like a habit, which again is not easy. I think this year, particularly for the latter part of this year, I did a much better job of being consistent. Like I like to spend time with the Lord in the morning, getting up in the morning, you know, before there's light outside, spending time with the Lord, just some reflection and prayer, trying to get in the Word, you know, and just starting my day off like on the right foot, and then kind of just going from there. I want to do a better job of like in my relationship, making sure I'm spending time with the Lord, with us together. We were just talking today, like we need to set a time aside to spend time with the Lord at least one day a week. You know, just like if you was going to Bible study or something like that, it's the same day, same time. You know, I'm being intentional about that because I do feel like that will give us like a strong, solid foundation as we, you know, seek to like try to get married and things of that nature. And so, you know, it's just one day at a time. But I think like you said, being consistent, you know, not just during like challenging times, but also like during a good time. I think the good time is even more important because like he expects you to come during the challenging times.
Exactly.
But it's like when you are freaking like, you know, during the positive times and you still turning to him, right? You still praying, you still getting in the word, right? Like I think he definitely honors that as well.
Yeah, and that was part of what I struggled with. And I think like just doing some self-reflection, I could be honest, that was probably one of the reasons why me and Max didn't work out. Because she was more far along in her walk than I was. And to be honest with you, I could be completely honest with you. I was trying to get to that level, but I can see it becoming an issue because I was bringing her down to my level. Like, I know when we had first started talking, she had wanted to be celibate. Clearly, you know, that didn't happen. And it was just more so of a, like, I have a weird thing. Like, I don't really like, I hope it don't sound racist, but I just don't like I like pastors that look like me, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and that wasn't a pastor that looked like me. Mm-hmm. And it was just more so like, it was more of a hassle than like, okay, we going to church. Like, I got, like, you want me, I'm here on vacation. Yeah. And you want me to go to church? Like, I'm here to see you. You want me to go to church on a Sunday? Mm-hmm. Knowing football's around the corner? So, like, you know.
Go to church and see football.
Yeah. But that's, I know that's going to sound hard, but that's one of my requirements. Like, I go to church, I got to make sure the church is out before 1 o'clock. So I could be home.
That's why I like my church, because we started like, I think it's 9:30. I think it's going to get moved to 9 o'clock. And so it's like, we out by like 11:30. It's probably soon going to be like 11 o'clock. And then it's like, you know, you spent your time with the Lord, and then you can kind of just do what you need to do for the rest of the day. I know me and my girlfriend, we meal prep and try to do a little bit of work or work out, whatever it may be, right? Try to get some chill time in before the end of the day. So you know, you still being able to do both. Because I agree. I think, and I was talking, I think, mom and dad about this. It's like, I mean, the days are like, for most churches, I would say, generally speaking, from what I've seen and heard, like, the days where like mothers staying in church for 5, 6, 7 hours,
that's done.
Coming back to night service. I'm pretty sure it still happens, but you know, I feel like that's like a lot of people not on that no more. You know, it's just kind of like a different day and age, which I think is fine. I don't think you need to be in church.
Even Stronghold, they got rid of evening service.
Yeah, like I don't think you need to be in church that long. Like, and I love the Lord, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I also don't need to be in church like 24/7, 8 hours out of the day.
And I think like that's what kind of like, I don't want to say drove me away, but I think, and I tried to tell mom and dad that like it wasn't them, it was me. But when I was at Stronghold, I don't want to say my relationship was fake with the Lord, but I don't believe it was genuine, because like I grew up in a church, so it was what I knew. But it wasn't like, and nothing to take away from mom and dad, but I know they always like, you know, if you're in the church, we want you to join the ministry. So I joined the ministry. It wasn't out of pressure, because that's what they wanted me to do, but not because it was something that I wanted to do. Yeah. So therefore, it was like, I'm doing this because this is what I'm supposed to do, but it's not because of what I wanted to do. So then therefore, and then also like, you know, it just sucked. Like, you know, I remember like when we got I think it was maybe me and Josh, I got grounded because we had missed church during the Super Bowl. I guess we had overslept, but then we had got grounded like, you know, I remember on Sundays, we couldn't go out on Sundays. And I was just like, why can't we go out? Like if I went to church, why can't I go out on Sundays and play basketball or something like that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just stuff like that when I finally got on my own. And then I ain't gonna lie to you, I remember like, when we had the every third Sunday, the junior ushers meeting, we was there all day. Yeah. We would be there second service, third service, and had the meeting, and then more than likely, like I think mom and dad had to like serve that evening service. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was just an all day affair. Yeah. So then when I finally like was able to get out on my own, I just wanted to, not saying neglect God, but I just wanted to just be able to just experience what I couldn't experience. Yeah. Growing up.
But see, that's why it's interesting, because for me, I mean, I didn't care for it either growing up, because, you know, as a kid, like, you know, you want to be able to play and chill and all that kind of stuff, and I feel like we didn't have a lot of those restrictions. But I think it's interesting, like, and I think about that a lot, actually, especially being in therapy, just all of our different responses, like, once we, like, kind of left the house or went to college or whatever, you know, and I feel like our responses were all kind of different, but I never saw it as that. I think, I don't know, I just feel like as I got older, I think I was the first one to get saved out of all of us. And I don't know, for me, it just took like on a different, it took on a different form. Not that one was better or worse or whatever, but I didn't see it in that way. And I think I continued with it. So for me, I think I don't know why, but I think I just took it on more and didn't see it as like, oh, you know, I want to be free, or this is a burden. And I mean, at the time it was, but it's like I feel like I kind of internalized it.
I think what really kind of like changed my perspective on church was that weekend I went up to Lynchburg, Virginia. So when I had that it was like a weekend tour. And I was staying there when I went to Liberty. Yeah. And it was just like, yo, like, it was just, I just looked at them as hypocrites. I'm like, we supposed to be Christians, but y'all are racist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we supposed to be.
And that's exactly why I would never go to Lynchburg. Because like, anytime I see that or hear something with lynch in it, nah, I'm good.
It was like, we supposed to be Christians, but y'all are racist. And we supposed to be Christians, but the owner of the university is supposed to be a Christian. Isn't all this nonsense. And I was just like, and then I just didn't like the whole, like, that's when I knew then I was like, yeah, I'm not really doing this for me. I'm doing this not to appease my parents, but because this is how I grew up. Because like I was not enthused of going there and having First New Testament, Old Testament classes and being mandated to go to church every week. I'm like, and then I can't watch a rated R movie. Like, bro, I'm grown. Like, what you mean I can't watch a rated R movie? So that's when I was like, yeah, let me just take a step back. But I always knew that he was real. It just took it to really see like, yo, like, I knew he was real, but it was like certain instances I would be like, okay, like my mom helped me here, or Manny helped me here, not really realizing that God put them in position to help me.
Yeah.
But to really be able to do something on my own and know that he's the reason why it got done was like, okay.
Yeah.
Now I see what y'all like. Now I see what people in Stronghold, where they would be crying in the testimonies. Because, boy, I cried.
Yeah.
When I got the apartment, I cried. Because, for a long time, y'all called me Calvin from House of Pain. And I was like, Dad, this is real. I ain't never getting out this house. Like, had the opportunity, and now it's too expensive. And then to finally get the new whip, I really cried because I was just like, Lord, like, you don't like it just felt like a whole weight and burden was lifted off my shoulders.
Yeah.
Like, yo, like, I can now, it just opened up so many avenues. Like, I can go back doing Uber now. You know what I'm saying? I could go back doing Uber Eats.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I could do Amazon Flex because I got SUVs. It just opened up so many different avenues and opportunities for me that wasn't there before. And I was like, all right, God, like, I definitely understand, like, like you're real. Like, even now, me and my girl, like, I told her, I was like, I don't want to go to church every day, but I do think if we could, maybe just dissect the sermon once a week or go to church once a month, something to where just so we can kind of get in that habit. Yeah. Because I am of the mindset of, I want you to have a relationship with God and know God, but you don't need to be super religious. Because growing up, I felt like being super religious meant that you was a good Christian. But as I got older, I was like, that's not really the case. Because most of these super religious people are very hypocritical and very like judgmental.
Racist, right? I think you talk about racist stuff. I feel like it's funny you went through that then, because I feel like now, especially, like, you're really seeing that now in politics, like, show itself a lot. And I think everyone's at their own path, and I think that's the key thing there. Your journey is your journey, and everyone comes to God at different ways and different times, and so I think, like, that's super important. I think for me too, I remember, I don't even know if y'all know this, but just like when I went to grad school, I think, college was a super huge for me in terms of like building like a strong foundation, right? But I think even when I went to grad school, because grad school was tough, like the classes was hard. I had only really knew one person, a guy who had told me about the school from undergrad. And, I started to get like more friends and stuff like that. But it was very isolating in many ways. I felt imposter syndrome. I felt like I didn't belong. I was around a bunch of white people, which I had not been the case before. Even at UCF, I still was able to find my community of black folk. And so I didn't feel like a PWI, and so just being at U Chicago and just so white is exactly like just the opposite of what my experience was in a new place with no family, right? No people that you really don't know like that. And so it was definitely challenging. Like, I remember, there was a period of time where, I didn't go to church for 3 months, and I was kind of like hit rock bottom and like was thinking about like quitting, was like low key kind of depressed. And, and I think eventually, God allowed one of the TAs to kind of come and help me out when he was actually a black guy. And he just like kind of helped me along the way. And I feel like that kind of like spurred me to kind of like keep pushing, but also knowing that like I'm doing this like for y'all, for my family, future family, current intermediate family. And so that I think kind of helped push me along, but helped me also get back into church. But I think one of the reasons also I wasn't going to church consistently a lot was because kind of like you were saying, like the majority of people there didn't look like me, and when you're used to like, even when I was an undergrad, it was a more diverse church, but I still saw it was people of color.
Yeah, because you were Orlando World Outreach, right? Yeah, that's the church now. Like, if I go to church, I'll either go to Orlando Bible Fellowship or Orlando World Outreach.
Yeah, yep. And so I just feel like, now being at a church that looks like me, it reminds me of Christian Stronghold, actually, which I actually love. But then also I got a dilemma too, because now, I'm dating someone who's Latinx, and so she sometimes feels like the same thing that like I felt, you know what I'm saying? And so like that's like something that we are like a continuous conversation that we're discussing, trying to figure out like what that looks like. Cause they do good work, they preach the word, they do things in the community, which I really love. Like we got like therapy, like a therapy building and stuff. Like, and you actually see like when we give, you see like where the money is actually going. You know, it ain't like the pastor just pocketing it and he just like whipping around, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that goes a long way for me, and I feel comfortable giving because I know that like it's actually going to do like kingdom business. And so, you know, that's where I feel like God is calling me and us, but I guess we'll kind of see like as the Lord, as we kind of go along. But yeah, dude, like it's not easy out here. It's not easy trying to live right. I'm literally just on the way over it, just kind of like, that's why I actually appreciated it. Just kind of like praying and just trying to stay grounded, and you know, it's just one day at a time. Like it's really one day at a time.
Because for a long time, like I was bitter.
Yeah,
with my parents, with God, it was just like, yo, after the whole academic suspension, I was like, okay, like, you know, I just did an episode on this, and I was just like, I'm 34, still trying to figure out what my purpose is.
Yeah,
like I feel like the business is the purpose, but what's going to get me to where I could work for myself all the time? Like I'm saying, like I felt like I had a purpose, and then that happened, and then I no longer was doing it, and I was just doing all these side gigs and doing all these random jobs, and I was just like, all right, Lord, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, because I still haven't got to the point where, like, I read the Bible and I could tell exactly what he's trying to say by talking to me. Like, I haven't got to that point yet. Like, I read the Bible and I'll be looking at the study Bible and I'll be like, all right, Lord, I still don't know what you're trying to tell me. Like,
that's okay.
I still don't know what you trying to tell me. Like, that's why I try to tell. I be like, cause now, like, I don't even like I talk to God like he the homie. I'm like, all right, man, and I pray. I be like, all right, let's have a heart to heart, my guy. Like, listen. Like, you know where I'm at right now. I'm struggling. I know you're not gonna let me struggle like completely. You're gonna let me struggle, but right when I'm about to fall, you're gonna pick me up. Like, I need to pick me up right now. Like, you know what I'm saying, like you know, I need something. But this year, definitely, like I felt like he has shown me who he really was. Because even when I had ended up leaving the etching job. I ended up getting the job that just let me go. I got that a week later.
Yeah,
I ain't never had turnaround that quick.
Yep.
And then even now, you know what I'm saying? Like I got let go 2 days before Christmas. Like I got a second interview tomorrow, and if I get that, I start on the 15th, to where that's not even a full month.
Yeah.
Of, you know, of not having two of that, just be under a full month of not having two incomes, and then bam, come February, I'm back to where I'm at. And that was always been a problem before, was when I would lose my jobs, like I would fall behind and it would take forever to get back up. So I was like, Lord, I'm still going, I'm gonna take it. But you know, if you offer me, I'm gonna take it. But I'm still going to look. And I even had turned down a few interviews because I just knew in the long run, I was like, yeah, that could help, but that's not gonna be what I need for right now. And I think now I'm just being a little more selective on what I want. And
I think that just like, I don't know, I think as I've gotten older, I think I've realized, and I think Dad has talked to me about this too, just, you know, go to God in prayer about it. Again, He's not always going to give you an answer right away, but over time and in the right season, right, like it's going to come forth what He wants for you.
Yeah,
right? And so
I used to pray all the time. I was like, Lord, you know, why didn't me and Britt work out? Like, I was really hurt by that. I was like, you know, why didn't, you know, me and Britt work out X, Y, and Z? Like, I thought she was the one, X, Y, and Z. What's going on? And I think I'm now starting to just get my answer. Like, took me 2 years, but it's like, I needed you to go through that so you can see how you're supposed to be treated. And you can work towards who I have for you now. I don't think I have the apartment, I have the new car, if I didn't go through that experience. Because with that experience, like, Britt had pushed me, like, you need to be working. Like, if you got 2 jobs, I expect you to work the 2 jobs, not taking all that time off, X, Y, and Z. So it kind of put in a more of a disciplined mindset.
Yeah.
So therefore, now with my girl, like, I have that discipline. And then with the apartment, like, the trust was there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think that was something in my last relationship. I don't think she had really she trusted me, but I don't think she really trusted me because, but then again, it was fair because I haven't really had shown that you can trust me when it comes to making sure that I can provide. Like, so you know what I'm saying? So like now, like I have, like she knows, like I can, you know what I'm saying? Like I can get the job done. Yeah. Like even with the apartment, like I picked this out. She gave me the range to do that. You know what I'm saying? So like it was just, it's growth. It's growth, and I see now as to why, you know, everything works out the way it works out. And it worked out for both of us. Like she got a new career, she got a new car, she about to go on a mission trip, which is something that if we were together, I would not be. I wouldn't be for that, to be honest with you. To be like, you want to go out the country?
So where?
I think she's going to Honduras. Okay. I had to look. We don't talk no more, but I found it on Facebook and I looked it up, and I was like, see, like that's why we did. I can see now. I'm more at peace as to why that didn't work out. Yeah, because like I'm not in the stage of my growth yet to where I can let my wife go on a mission trip. Just being 100% real.
Why?
What if something happened to you? Like I'm saying, like, what if something happened to you and then you don't come back home? Like I don't think I'm mentally ready to handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just not. And then especially for a mission trip, you could be gone for a month. Who paying these bills? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be for real. Like, who paying these bills? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then especially like, you know, to be long distance and then to move to in with somebody, and then all of a sudden like you're gone for a month. Yeah, because more 9 times out of 10, and we'll wrap it up. 9 times out of 10, like when you go on your first mission trip, like that's just the start of something. You're not just one and done. So then now it's like, okay, you're going to go on more trips, and now like it's just I'm not there in my walk yet. So, but you know, everything works out for a reason. I'm very happy for her. But yeah, appreciate you getting on.
For sure.
You know, appreciate
Thanks
you
for having me, brother.
Hey man, you know, appreciate you, you know, coming on, doing the video thing, you know what I'm saying?
Proud of you and your growth and the direction which you're going. And again, like you know, there's always going to be hiccups, bumps in the roads and obstacles. I'm still learning that. But I think also one of the things I'm learning is just that, like, you know, even the challenging situations that I face, God still has come through. Like one example, for example, is like a month or so ago, she had like one of those push to start, you know what I'm saying, keys and stuff. And so
battery went out.
Yeah, the battery went out, and we didn't know like there was an actual other key in there. Yeah, and so we just started like trying to figure it out. And she had to Uber over and everything, and then I'm just like, shoot, a car, and you know, it won't start. And so, you know, we couldn't even get in the car because her locks and stuff don't work. And so it just so happened that a dude just happened to be walking by. He had walked past initially. Izzy said something to him, then he came back like, hey, you know, there's a key in there. And I'm just like, man, that's God. You know what I'm saying? So like, even just like with my car breaking down, you know, he's still been faithful because like I haven't really needed to rush to get a car.
Like that was crazy. Like mom and dad went up there and they was like, man, his car broke down. Like, what you mean his car broke down? Like I was just there last year. Like it was running smooth, and it's crazy because like it was like your car had what 180,000 miles or something like that.
Yeah, and it was like a 2006.
Yeah, and it was like that's crazy. You had 180 and I had 308, but God still allowed my car to be running. And it was just like, that's wild, right? Like, and
you were driving that thing to the ground.
I'm riding it into the ground. Like, I'm going from Orlando to Sanford. I went to Atlanta twice. Yeah, I'm going to Lakeland every week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to Atlanta with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's wild.
Yeah, man. So God is faithful, man. Because, like, I've been using Izzy's car. And for the most part, I don't really go nowhere. Most of the time, we together or something. But, you know, I don't have to rush to get a car. I want to try to get a car for next summer. But it's just like I ain't
this summer rush. Or next summer. This summer
2025.
Oh, so you plan on being without a car for a year or something?
I don't need it.
Well, yeah, because you were in Chicago, like you don't really need it like that.
Chicago, I got the
because you didn't really drive it like that when you was in.
Yeah, I didn't drive it like that. But also, me and Izzy, we work together. You know what I'm saying? So like we spend a lot of time together. So it's just like, again, his faithfulness, and you know, it sucks obviously, and that's why I'm trying to get that RAV4. That's the car like I know I'm going to get, but it's just like
I had thought about the RAV4 specifically for you because I was like, yeah, if I get it,
I can like test it out.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, girl. I was like, baby, I was like, if I get it, I already know Manny gonna be like, hand them keys over. Matter of fact, he gonna be like, I'll give it back to you before I leave. I'm gonna just take it. I was gonna take it for the week because I was like, you know,
I don't be going nowhere anyway. When
I'm saying so. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, this was a good conversation.
Keep relying on the Lord, dude. It's one day at a time. Any and all situations, good and bad, bro.
Always, man.
Consistency.
So this is gonna conclude the Praise Break series reloaded. I am gonna do another one for season 6. I'm really gonna try to get see if I can get Pastor Burrell on because I got some questions. I want to get a pastor on, get different perspectives on it. But you already know, man. Follow me on Good Pods, man. Average TPC, that's the podcast Instagram. If you want to start a podcast, the website ain't up yet, so go to the Average Joe Media. Is it I think it's the Average Joe Media. Is it LLC or just? Because I forgot. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. It is. If you go to the Average Joe Media. Just hit me up and say, you want to start a pod. You hear how we sound. You see how the video look. I got you. As y'all already know.
This is an Average Joe Media production.
You already know.
You already know, man. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. We'll see y'all next week, man. It's your favorite Average Joe. Peace. But yeah, man, like, man, listen, that was when he was able to do all that.
Yeah.
Boy, like I told my girls, I'm crying.
Yeah.
And I had the dealership, and I just broke down. I was like, hey, man, look, thank you, Lord, because you know. I was like, because for a while, I didn't want to make that. I was like, I don't want to make a $500-$600 car payment. But when I had the opportunity, it was now or never.
I think, like you said, it just opens up. It gives you more consistency. It allows you to do different things. So, like, it can be because then, like you said, if you're not, then you take an Uber, and that's even more money. So, it's like you might as well just
because it was like I could have always been doing Uber, but it was like nobody want to be in a car. The AC don't work and it's loud, and it's stuttering when you're trying to drive it a little bit.
Be getting too much good reviews.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying. So it was just like it opens up more opportunity, and I don't know. It was probably the first time, like because I literally bought it. And then the same day, mom and dad came up here to meet TR, TR's mom and everything. And I think it was the first time in a long time, even though mom was hounding me about the payments, dad was like, he grown. He don't live here no more. I'm pretty sure if he bought it, he know how to make the payments.
And you got to just make it work.
And, it was the first time in a long time, like, I know dad always said he was proud of me, but it was the first time in a long time, like, I can see it in his eyes, like, he's getting it.
Yeah.
And then for mom to sit there and say she was proud of me, the stuff we going through, like that meant a lot. Because over the last 5 years, mom ain't said mom might be proud of me, but she ain't say it. Like she's always questioning, even when I got this, how'd you get the money to do that? X, Y, and Z. Not just I see the vision. So for them to be like, for them to see me with the apartment, for them to see me with the car, it's like, okay, like he's like, I ain't gonna lie. Once I got the apartment and I got the new car, that was the first time in my life, like I felt like a man.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I'm a grown man.
That's fair.
Like I'm doing this on my own.
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, you've been doing it on your own for a while. Josh been doing it on your own for a while, but I always been home, and I was the oldest, so it was always tough. Even though y'all never looked at it like that, it was tough on me because I'm just like.
I mean, I imagine it was. I'm
just like, yeah, like how my little brother's doing better than me? Like I'm supposed to be setting the example. And when I was able to get that, I was like, okay, I'm still not on the level they're at, even though it's not a competition. But I'm holding my own now. Before I couldn't say I was holding my own. Like I'm holding my own now. Like I'm saying, like.
And I feel like that's my prayer for y'all. Like I just want y'all to make good decisions, wise decisions. That that guy continues to take care of y'all, and that like y'all continue to figure it out at your own different paths. Because like you said, it's not a competition. Like I'm trying to be better than it ain't that deep.
It was never that. It was just more so like I didn't, especially after my last relationship, I didn't really know if I could trust myself to have the discipline. Because for me, it was never. I knew once I got into an apartment, I could maintain it. It was always the deposit, the stuff that goes with trying to get the apartment, the lights and all of that. And so when I knew that had to fall on me, and I was able to make sure that I had it, and then they would turn around and get the whip, I was like, okay, like I got the discipline now.
It makes you feel good about yourself.
I got the discipline now.
It's like a huge step. That's like when I feel like, and hopefully get like a Democratic president, and no, they don't mess with like the public service forgiveness thing, but it's like when that gets paid off, it's like that will be like a huge weight off of my shoulder, and I'll probably cry. My boss actually just got his loans like forgiven. I'm just like, he showed me the papers, like, man, like 2.5 more years, and I'm gonna be you. So that stuff does make you feel good. Even when I do get a new car, it's like, yo, like I can say I got a brand new car with 0 miles on it, and I'll put the first mile on it. And then, like, I can have that for if I have a future family and stuff.
See, that was with me, right? Like, even though I didn't have a brand new car, it felt like a brand new car. It was like, when you went from a 2012 to 2023, I was like, I ain't really care about me having the first miles on it, but to where like I ain't even got 15,000. Like I still got the manufacturer's warranty and then my extended warranty. Like man, look.
Yeah, that's a win. Darn near new. So I agree. I hear that 100%.
Always.